This motherfucker showing up at my fucking work, my gym. And this motherfucker, look at, he's trying to show me up. Look, what's he got here? 100 pounds?
80 pounds.
Is this your max? Is this your max, Regan?
This is max.
Fuck, come on. So, the day kind of centers around right now. It's about 1:45 p.m. And everything I do in my day is meant to get me ready for my workout. And now we're about to go hit some shoulders and some triceps. The day's been pretty good. I'm a little tired, but I took a couple ephedrine and I took a caffeine tab. About to get this pre-workout in with some tyrosine and taurine. It should kind of wake me up, have a killer workout, and then get back home and eat and start to recover. So people wonder why I start my workouts with calves, and it's very simple. It's a prioritization technique because my calves are not up to par with the rest of my physique. So I like to start with calves, try and train them 2 to 3 times a week. I may only do one exercise, but I could do up to 10 sets of that one exercise and make sure I really tax my calves. That way each week I'm hitting them at a different angle, or each workout I'm hitting them at a different angle. After the seated calf press, I moved on to shoulders. I like to start with the reverse Pec Deck. I get a really good feel out of it. I try not to grip the handles if I can and just kind of use my shoulders to pull everything apart. Try not to pull too far back. I see a lot of people pulling their shoulders as far back as they can, but after a certain point you start using your rhomboids and your lats and your teres to actually pull the weight instead of your shoulders. So it's actually a short range of motion if you're just hitting the rear delt. From there, I moved on to a seated Smith machine press, but without a back. I just used a flat bench, put it under the Smith machine rack, and it acted as kind of like a standing press, but I feel like if I do it seated with no back, I have nothing to support me. It's all shoulder, so you can't go as heavy because it does put a lot of strain on your back, but I do feel like it puts more emphasis on the shoulder because you can't lean back into a seat, and you're not standing, so you can't spring with your legs or your hips or anything else. It's kind of all shoulder. So I feel like that's actually been a pretty effective movement. I don't do it every week, but from time to time I try and get that in. From there I moved on to cable laterals. If my shoulders are feeling sore, or if I feel like there's any kind of impingement in my shoulder and I'm not able to properly do a heavy lateral, I like to use the cables because I get a really, really good contraction, and I don't have to use a lot of weight. So it kind of works out well for me that way if I have any impingements in my rotator cuffs or anything like that week that haven't been worked out through therapy. I like to hold on to the bar and lean into the delt that I'm working. I feel like it helps get a little more contraction that way, place a little more emphasis on the delt itself. I feel like if I'm standing straight upright, I can kind of bounce with the weight, and I don't want to do that. So try and keep everything isolated, try and make the shoulder work. It's a small muscle group, so if you're bouncing around and using a lot of momentum, it's really easy to take the pressure off the shoulder. So a lot of people also ask me why sometimes I do 2 pressing movements in a workout. Well, I feel like pressing movements are what give you the mass in your delt, and obviously your isolation movements will give you the detail and kind of the cap to your shoulder and everything. Not that you can't get mass from the isolation movements, but I like to press heavy, and since the first press in this workout was a little bit more of a isolated press and I wasn't able to go very heavy with it, I decided to do a machine press afterwards. Here you see me doing 4 plates, but I actually ended up going up to 6, and I feel like I get a lot of blood volume going with this exercise.
So I realize now how much bigger I am than Dorian after seeing him on video. And Reagan is also just a young pup. I'm the old fuck.
So, got in shoulders and calves today. I'm gonna have to get in triceps tomorrow because the massage guy said he can fit me in at 315 and it's 315, so I want to make sure I get in there and get some work done on my elbows. I'll have a better tricep workout tomorrow anyway. I put a lot of emphasis on my preventative therapy. I've had a lot of tears in my career, small ones, a couple big ones, but it's important to get in and make sure you're healthy all the time. So these guys are pretty good to me, so I get in and see them as much as I can. But I feel good about the workout. At 4.5 weeks, still training really hard, still lifting really heavy. That military press I videoed was 4 plates, but I got up to 6. But I guess without video, there's no proof. But it's good. I'm on a good path. I'm focused, and every day I get a little better. Strength is still there, and focus on the task at hand. There's a lot of good competition, and I want to make sure I present my best package to date. So I'm going to head into my massage now, and we will catch up in a minute.